It's important to be here because we need to stand up for what's right.
Hundreds gathered in downtown Spokane tonight to protest federal immigration agents after the death of Alex Pretti in Minneapolis over the weekend. This as we track the latest out of Minnesota.
After a cold start to the month, January closes out warm and wet across the inland Northwest.
Plus, a Spokane woman sent to the hospital after she was shot in North Spokane. What we know with the suspect still at large tonight. Good evening and thanks for joining us for KREM 2 News. I'm Sydney Schofield. Hundreds gathered in downtown Spokane tonight in the wake of Alex Pretti's death. The nurse was shot and killed by Border Patrol agents over the weekend in Minneapolis. Earlier today, we found out 2 federal agents connected to that shooting are on administrative leave. Tonight, we still don't know their identities. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy takes us to the demonstration in downtown Spokane and brings us the message its attendees hope to get across.
4 days after the shooting and killing of Minneapolis ICU nurse Alex Pretti, hundreds in Spokane gathered together to protest what they say was an unlawful killing.
Well, I think it affects us all.
Attendee Link Miles says he's happy to be a part of something bigger than himself. He says the news of Pretti being killed by a Border Patrol agent shocked him.
This is, action taken by our government, and we all need to be showing our support and for what we believe is right.
Hundreds of people gathered at Riverfront Park with signs in support of Pretti and against federal agents. Folks marched their way to the courthouse where 3 people spoke kind words about him. They marched back to the park where the group slowly separated from there. But Leslie Jones says the march ending doesn't take away from its importance.
It's important to be here because we need to stand up for what's right.
As those in attendance leave downtown with their signs, Jones hopes the march shows Spokane residents care about the death of Pretti, no matter how far from Eastern Washington it was.
Because all of our voices matter. It doesn't matter how far or how close you are to what happened. All of us together matter and our voice matters. And if we can all work together, we can make a change. And that's why we're all here.
Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
The Spokane woman accused of threatening to kill an FBI agent and his family is now free from jail. According to a now unsealed affidavit, 18-year-old Brenna Doyle was not involved with the protests in Minnesota. However, when 2 FBI vehicles were broken into, protesters stole personal identification and documents, including personal contact information, among other items. Doyle then used that info to call an FBI agent and make threats to him and his family. Doyle will be on probation and only allowed to leave her home for work, legal or court-ordered processes, and medical treatment until her next federal court appearance. Her next hearing will be February 9th in Minnesota. All right, let's take a break from the headlines and head to our outdoor weather center. Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo tracking the weather, and it's raining out there tonight, or it was earlier at least.
No, it's still coming down.
Okay.
And, I just kind of left the umbrella inside figuring I wasn't out for that long, and it's not coming down that hard. 32 degrees says it's a mix of rain and snow depending on where you are across the region. And with temperatures hovering really close to freezing, that's going to be the case for the next little bit until we warm up. You can see the backside of this first little wave coming down as a little bit of snow north of Interstate 90. Here down south, a little bit more rain. Overnight, we're going to get that push of moisture, and by tomorrow morning, it's more widespread rain across the inland Northwest. And those rain levels or snow levels are going to climb as temperatures continue to rise throughout the day tomorrow and even Friday as even more widespread rain pushes through the region. We warm up and in a pretty big way. Tomorrow, we're back up in the 40s with rain, unfortunately. Friday, mid-40s, and by Saturday, we might wake up to a little bit of fog, but as that clears out, we're approaching 50 degrees by the afternoon.
Jeremy, thank you. Tonight, police are investigating a shooting in North Spokane that happened this afternoon, sending a woman to the hospital. Here's KREM 2's Regan Gallo with what we know.
Well, Spokane police say there is still an active investigation ongoing after they responded to a shooting where a woman was shot in front of a residence in North Spokane on East Decatur Avenue. Now, Spokane Police and the Major Crimes Unit responded to this call around 3 p.m. They say a neighbor called in this shooting. And again, that adult female was reported shot in front of a residence. We have since been told by Spokane Police that that female went to the hospital and is in stable condition. Now, when I arrived on scene, Spokane Police were knocking on doors to neighbors in the area, as well as taking photos of a specific home, a blue home in the area that also had tape wrapped around the residence, red tape. Now, since then, that tape has been taken down, and Spokane Police say no arrests have been made at this time, and there is no current threat to the public. Now, Spokane Police urge anyone that has more information on this investigation to call Crime Check. For now, I'm reporting in North Spokane. Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
It's time for your Night Beat with a quick look at today's top stories. A bill moving through the Washington state legislature would reduce the amount of time a person must register as a sex offender if they're caught in an online sting talking to who they thought were underage victims, but were actually police. The stings are called net nanny operations, and right now anyone convicted has to register as a sex offender and faces supervision for life. Senate Bill 5312 would reduce the length of being a registered sex offender to 5 years and the length of supervision afterward to 3 years. Only sex offenders with no prior criminal charges for sex offenses would be eligible. More restrictions are now proposed for those who buy and use KREM in Washington. Two separate bills are working their way through the Washington legislature right now. One that would double the price of the drug, and the other that would make sure no one under 21 was able to buy it. Senate Bill 6196 would add a 95% tax on all KREM brought into the state. Senate Bill 6287 would require buyers to be 21 years or older. In December, Mayor Lisa Brown proposed a complete ban on the sale of KREM products in Spokane. A Snohomish County teenager has died from the flu, becoming Washington state's first pediatric flu death this season. According to the Snohomish County Health Department, county health officials say in total across just Snohomish County, 10 people have died due to complications related to the flu. Statewide, 59 people have died from the flu this season, including 3 from Spokane County. It's already been more severe than just a year ago. As we now enter the peak of the season, health officers are urging people to get this year's flu vaccine and say even if you still catch it, the vaccine generally reduces the number of sick days you'll take from work or school and reduces the severity of symptoms, keeping you out of the hospital. That's it for your Night Beat. If you want more information on any of these stories, just head to our website, KREM.com. Stay with us tonight. A new Idaho bill aiming to stop prisoners from making money through things related to their crimes is now moving through the legislature. We'll tell you why. But first, Washington state is now one step closer to banning law enforcement officers from hiding their identities. The details of this new bill in just 90 seconds.